Hello there, my adorable internet and you super creatures of the beyond. I've been skipping on Inkscape lately, haven't I? But the reality is that I had some side projects to deal with. They're not finished yet, but I wanted to showcase some of it. What I did was not actually my artwork, but a friend of mine has a bar and he wants to vectorize some of the designs somebody painted for him on the bar walls. And for that, this is the original design, and this is how I made it. You can't really see the difference actually, it's quite subtle. Although I did reduce the number of colors used, of course, because this one has a few variations. It was painted, of course. So oh, I have seemed to have messed up the mouths for some reason. Oh, this is weird. What's happening here? Maybe I need to push this one a bit lower. Oh, well, it seems I messed up something. I don't know why exactly. Oh, yeah, weird. Weird. You are weird, man. Anyway, the point was that it looks quite easy, doesn't it? At a first glance. But to be honest, I find the art quite amazing. And if we zoom in, we start to realize that there is mm, the art itself is not as straightforward as it looks. For example, here we have a very thick line, then it goes to uh, thinner lines, then we have these obtrusions out of the fingers, and so on and so forth. So clearly, I had to simulate this. And painting in Inkscape is possible in a way. Not in traditional kind of raster painting, but it gets very close. So the way I have achieved this was using the pen tool, the pencil tool, sorry. And we'll make a demonstration immediately. But just to exemplify, uh, oh, why is this so huge? We should make it smaller. Like so. Maybe we should move this a bit more to the... Okay, something like this. So, as you can see, my lines also kind of follow the same principles. They get thick, thin. This one looks a bit off. There we go. We fixed it. And so on and so forth. It's really cute. It's adorable. It's fantastic. I'll show you another one that I made. My friend has quite a few designs he sent me. This one is also... I kept the same colors because the design is similar, as you can see. Yeah, he has a few of them that are there in the background, but they're quite awesome. So I thought, yeah, I should stay as close as possible to the design where I can. Although I did take some artistic liberties here and there to... Oh, I haven't fixed this, it seems. Yeah, I'll have to fix this a few things have escaped me. Well, what can you do? Such is art. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. Anyway, the point is that if you want to achieve something similar, although let's do a new window so we don't mess with these ones. Um, Clearly you can use the Bezier pen to do your, oops, this happening. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the pen. I'm not in the Bezier, sorry. Uh, I confused this with another software. So clearly you can use the Bezier pen to do whatever you like. And you can get whatever sort of line length you desire. But doing it like this is, to be honest, quite tedious and not very practical. So then we have the pencil. What I did was smoothing. I went 100% with it. This is sort of like a way for Inkscape to help us with keeping the lines as simple as possible, so we don't have too many ridges. And I use the pen tab for this. I applied the pressure here, and you can apply the minimum and the maximum. One thing to keep in mind, though, aside from the fact that you can use this, but the point is when you're zoomed, so for example, if I'm gonna draw a line now, and as you can see, I can control the pressure. There you go. So we have this 30 that goes to the maximum. If I zoom in, this is relative to the screen zooming. Oops. Well, maybe I shouldn't have done it like so. So as you can see, yeah, if you're more zoomed, again, this happens. So be careful with it. This is relative to the zooming, and it can be frustrating at times. So that's one thing to take into account. Next, let's say we're making a line, yeah, and we're not very happy with some of the shape, so we can easily alter it. And what happens here is, oh, I think I also use, no, I haven't used anything else. What also happens here is that this applies a a path effect, sorry. So we shall look at that path effect and how we can influence it and make it as interesting as possible. So as you can see here, I can control the thickness, and the thickness, it applies simplify and power stroke, which is really good. But unfortunately, I don't know how to avoid this. You have to deselect this every time. So now, if I press Control and click this one time, now I created a duplicate, and now I can control the thickness of the line between certain vertices, nodes. Be careful to keep these nodes on the same side, otherwise you're gonna have this issue, this ribbon effect, which is also nice and all that, but it depends what you want to do. Um, there are some issues when you apply this, so you have to make sure you have a quite a bit of distance so they don't clip like that weirdly. And that's about it. For the rest, you just use the Bezier tool for everything that you want to create as a shape. Like, for example, in the case of the eyes, oh crap. In the case of the eyes, come on, in Inkscape, wake up. I just use the Bezier tool and just kind of simulated a circle or something like that, you know. Doesn't have to be perfect. The point is to kind of trick the eye into thinking that it's hand painted. And the moment you give it this sort of maybe it needs a bit more color towards the reds. I really like this wheel. This OK HSL is really fantastic. It's I don't know. I love it. It's fun to work with sometimes. Not in all cases, obviously, but if you want to stay kind of in the same lightning range, it's very powerful. So yeah, you do that and then you add this sort of element to it. Like so, and you open it up and voila. See, easy peasy. Of course, make it a bit more round than what I did. I'm kind of making. Oh, come on, cooperate with me. This one also needs to be rounded. Also, another thing I've noticed is sometimes these lines they don't use these symmetrical nodes. So if you have that issue, just select them all and do them symmetrically. Otherwise, they might have small, uh, how should I say, points here and there, and it's gonna look off. But anyway, that's not here nor there. So yeah, it's really interesting to learn from other people's art style because when you look at this design, you kind of think to yourself, well, how the hell? Oh, not this one. Control Shift. Oh. So you're always like, how the hell did do I make these things, for example, or uh, how to make the curves in an interesting way that they look organic and not forced. And when we go to this, we see that we can kind of keep it. Sure, I could make small adjustments here and there, but I'm happy with the end result. I think it looks nice. And clearly I have simplified it a bit more, but I made it chaotic, so it looks hand-drawn. And it is hand-drawn because I used the pencil for this. And of course, if you want to change the thickness, I depends on how strong you apply pressure. But usually I like to just go with a uniform pressure at first on my pen, if possible. And then I add extra pressure points here manually if I need to make it look more believable. But still, quite unique. One more thing. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, you will not be able to do this in one go. It's just not possible. And uh, I mean, it is possible. I'm kidding, but it depends on your tablet. So if you don't have a very good tablet, it's you're gonna have to struggle a bit. But what I did was, for example, let's say we're trying to make a surface like this. So I'm stopping there, and then I'm continuing from over here a little bit outwards and coming like so. Oops, I think I did too many. So now I have two of them, correct? And let's say they are looking like this. I always have to deselect that no jump thingy, it's annoying. Maybe there is a way to set it up somewhere. But now, how do I connect this with this? Since these are lines and we don't want to make them into paths because clearly we can't edit them afterwards, we just select the head nodes and combine them. Head nodes and combine them. Of course, you will lose some nodes, some pressure points in the process, but you just re-add them and that's it, where you see necessary. And you can control the line quite well. And if you want to even simplify it more, you can do it from the simplified version here, but I kind of try to stay away from that. I just press, you can go like here into path and you have simplify with controller. And this means it removes some of the extra nodes. So for example, I press Control L, you see, easy peasy. And again, we can see it's at these are not symmetrical. So select everything with Control A, or just select it normally, whatever. And then bam, just like this. But sometimes it doesn't fully apply correctly. So be careful with that. I'm not sure if it's related to Inkscape when it has too many nodes and it can't calculate this the symmetry correctly. But when that happens, kind of go in and shape it up a bit manually. The the trick in all of this is to keep your lines with as little nodes as possible, if possible, if the shape permits it, of course, so that it looks quite easy to manipulate at first, and also easy to move around. But don't sacrifice too much of its geometry. Maybe I can make it like this. Also, keep in mind where you make your line thinner, because this is kind of a medium in between. So it takes in, it looks at the thickness. You see, the thickness doesn't automatically go where my my pressure point is. Well, it kind of follows it to a degree, but it looks at the thickness over here and the thickness over here, and it kind of creates mediums in between, if that makes any sense. You can add as many as you wish, but just be careful not to overdo it, because clearly if you get too close, you see these deformations like this. And again, it affects the rest of the curve and the thickness there, not by a lot. It's kind of like a volume in a way. Or it calculates the area or something like that, if I could come closer to that that sort of a description. Looks quite interesting. Maybe it's a bit too thick here, too thin, sorry. And of course, when you have things you need to fill out, there are two ways. You could take this, but this is not the optimal way, to be honest, because sometimes you'll have open shapes and so on. But if you have a closed shape, you just duplicate this, you press you make it into object to path, or just press Ctrl plus, and now it's like this. And now you can come here and select this and go like this with the bucket tool. So let's say a bigger color. I'm gonna remove the original path. I mean the path that I've created and keep only the line. And this one we can simply enlarge it a little bit and put it underneath, of course. And now you can just add gradients if you want. And things like that, maybe a bit less screamy. Screamy weemy. And the same can be applied to the line, as you can see. And it looks quite formidable, in my opinion. Yeah, you can play with many things here, but controlling your thickness can make quite some unique art. Well, hope we all learned something here. I certainly have. I don't know about you, but if you want to use this bloody omelette, now it's a proper omelette. Let's put it like that. It's a dragon omelette, let's say, and this is its tail. I don't know, I'm mental. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you next time. See ya. Bye 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 bye.